Hello everybody, I'm Reed, and today we're going to talk about my general process for drawing skyscapes while we watch this little time-lapse in the background. So, for starters, I started looking at reference images to try and find some kind of inspiration. There was one really interesting one that I found of someone holding up a lens, a camera lens I should say, not a lens cap. Camera lens, and that kind of acted as the focal point for the background and left the rest blurry. I thought it was super cool, but I did change up the idea, as I'll talk about in a little bit here. So for starters, I'm just kind of putting in a gradient. In Photoshop it tends to be easier, but in this you kind of have to use brushes. In Procreate at least I should say. Here I'm just taking some brushes that I really like for clouds. Really any brush will do. I don't personally believe that brushes make or break your artwork. They just kind of help you get whatever you want. I'm just choosing some nice colors that I like, that I know work well with some of the blending modes I'm going to use. I just block in some shapes, erase parts to try and make it an interesting shape, and then use the distort tool. You can also do this in Procreate, or Photoshop I should say, or any other program as long as they have a transform tool. So I'm just kind of changing some of the brightness levels here, getting it to a point where I like, and then I thought it'd be really cool to make it kind of a reflected pool look. So I'm just blocking in the ground and making slight distinctions between the sky and what's below. And then from here I'm just adding a little bit of extra details in some of the clouds. I wanted to try and keep it simple though, so you see that I got rid of my first attempt. Just want to add a tiny bit of motion. I always think that looks really nice when it comes to the clouds. And here I'm just using a quick bird brush that I got from a free pack. It works really well for just blocking in a little bit of life and detail, and I just love, birds that glow in art. It's obviously not realistic, but it just adds something. So here I'm trying to block in the hand that is meant to hold this lens cap. But today was just a really bad anatomy day. Part of it is probably that I wasn't doing any construction for this, I was just trying to do it straight ahead. But that really wasn't working out, so I decided to go with something I have a little more fun with, and kind of go with more of a stained glass window look. I don't usually get to use the radial symmetry tools in Procreate, so I thought it'd be really fun to try out. So I'm just kind of blocking in those shapes and just doing with whatever felt good and fun at the time. It really didn't matter too much, I don't think. Although I will say, anyone that's used Procreate radial tools, or any of the symmetry tools, the drawing assist is so annoying to try and get right when it comes to using these quick shapes. Like, you can see how many times I have to try and draw this circle in order to get it right there. And that's just because I'm refusing to turn off the symmetry. Just being stubborn and all. And so from here, I really wanted it to make it look more like a window and still kind of have that focus effect that I was originally going for when it was a camera lens. So I decided to add in a little bit of color, add a little bit of this glare to kind of make it sell more as a window, and just have this center panel kind of be missing the glass instead. I thought it would be an interesting way to still explain this kind of focused effect while still giving it a really cool sort of identity for the image. Then I start going into some of the post-processing. If you'd like to know more about my post-processing process, I can make another video for that. For some reason the recording kind of deleted on this, so I can't go into it too detailed, unfortunately. And then I just kind of, to finish off this image, I thought adding a foreground element would really help sell it more as that kind of stained glass imagery, so I'm just adding in a couple of basic plants. It doesn't really matter too much how they look, because I'm going to blur it anyways. Just to kind of give that sense of depth, really. And there we have it. Don't forget, you are valid, loved, and worthy. Take it easy.